Now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with the Game Boy Geek.
Ahoy there, mateys! It's the Game Boy Geek here. Today, we're going to be pushing our luck on the pirate ship. We're talking about Dead Man's Draw. And this is it's kind of backwards. Most of the time you hear about board games that get made into apps. This was a game that was originally an app that then became a physical game by Mayday Games. 2 to 4 players, takes 10-ish minutes to play. Let's take a look. I'll show you how it's played. I'll see you on the other side. At the beginning of Dead Man's Draw, you get a cool little player aid that's double-sided. You also get 2 characters that you get to choose from for a special ability during the game. We'll get to what those do later, but you get to draft, basically get 2 random ones, one of them that you choose, and then we start the game. So Dead Man's Draw is basically a press your luck game, but there's 10 different suits and each of them have a special action. So how the game works is on your turn, you're gonna draw a card. And this is gonna show you how many points this card's worth, and this is a map, the suit of a map. Now I have 2 choices. I can either stop, take this, put it in front of me, and I now have 7 points. Or I can press my luck. If I press my luck and I go, now again, each of these are gonna have a special action that we'll talk about. So every time that you flip a card up, you're going to do the special action for that suit. So I would flip up the map, we'd do the suit action for the map, and then I would decide, whether I wanna keep going or not. I will get to these suit actions later. Let's go to the second card. I would do the suit action of the cannon, and then I can stop and decide whether I wanna stop or go. If I continue to go, ooh, we have a mermaid. She's the only one that actually doesn't have a suit action because most of these numbers go from 2 to 7. Mermaid goes from 4 to 9. So she has a higher number, but she doesn't have a suit action. And let's say now I want to keep going. Now at this point, there's a second suit of any kind. I see a second cannon, I would have busted, which means all these cards just go right in the discard pile. Now I told you that they go from 2 to 7. The lowest card of each suit, which is a 2 for everything, except the mermaid, it goes from 4 to 9, is that. So we have all the 2s actually start the discard pile. So this would have been a discard pile up here, and my bust cards would have went in the discard pile. Otherwise, I could have stopped, and they would have went in front of me. Now during the course of the game, I'll start getting cards in front of me if I don't bust and I stop and I take cards. Now the way they do is you line them up by suit. So in this case, let's just say I had a 7 of a map, a 7 of a cannon, and a 3 of a cannon. Well, the way that we set these up is we always put the top cards, the highest number cards on top. So you only, at the end of the game, you're only gonna score the top number of each suit. So in this case, I have 14 points, there's a 3 here. But at some point, someone's gonna end up stealing this card from me, and now I'm gonna have 10 points, and that's how that works. So let's go over the suit actions for all 10 suits, okay? This is the map, we saw that earlier. What that allows you to do is take the entire discard pile, shuffle them up, which is the only reason why I sleeve these cards. They're actually good quality, but we shuffle quite a bit in this game. And you draw 3 cards, and I get to choose which one to place next. Whoa, I shuffled and got 3 mermaids. I will pick the 7 mermaid and put it there. When you put that card there, you will then activate that one. The mermaid is the only one, again, as I said, does not have a special action, but it can go up to 9 points. Let's move these out of the way so we can keep going over some of these suit actions. The cannon. The cannon allows you to take anybody's card that they have stashed or has in front of them and destroy it and throw it in the discard pile. So if this was my opponent over here and these are the cards that he got to keep without busting, I have the cannon, boom, see you later mermaid, this goes in the discard pile, we have just blown up that person's card. Let's say, ooh, the Kraken. When the Kraken comes out, you usually don't want to see this because that means you have to flip up 2 more cards or you actually have to add 2 more cards to the play area. So we have this, which is a sword. And a sword allows me to take any card from anybody else's play area and then add it to from their stash, add it to the play area, and then activate it. So let's say one of my opponents had these 2 cards in front of their stash area. I'm going to take any one from any of the guys and then activate it. I'll put the anchor here, boom, and then it activates this card. The anchor special ability is that if I bust, everything to the left of it is still safe and I got it. Now remember, the Kraken was pulled. We have to add 2 cards. That was 1, that was 2. So as long as sometimes they'll come off the top, 2 of them, sometimes you'll get them from other people's place like that. Now, let's see. Okay, so that's the anchor. We'd keep going. Maybe I stop. Boom. Let's pull those cards out. I just decided to stop there. And let's go through some of the other ones. Ooh, we have a key. The key is worth, it does nothing special unless you get a chest with it because the key goes in the chest. Now, if you do that, let's talk about what that happens here. First of all, I'm going to tell you what these do in a minute. So we pull this one here. And what this allows you to do is, it's an aura thing. We get to look at the next card and see if we want to play it or not. If this was something bad, like if it was another one of anything that was out there, let's say it was this. Well, I clearly wouldn't want to do that because then I'd put it there when I'd bust. But let's say it's an anchor. Oh, good, I put it there. Okay, and so that's pretty much how that goes. Now, let's say I wanted to stop. Because I have the key in the chest, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 cards that I'm taking. In addition to that, for my bonus, for getting the treasure, I get to shuffle the discard pile, and then I take 1, 2, 3, 4 cards off the top, add it to all these, and bring it in. So in this one turn, I would have looked like this. Boom, I would have just gotten all of these cards, 2 of these, 1 of these, and right now my points would be 9 plus 6 plus 7 plus 4 plus 6 plus 7 plus 2. That's where I'd be right now. The last one we didn't talk about is the hook. Let's talk about that. So if the hook comes out, I have to take, I'm forced to take any card from my area, and it has to be from mine, put it here and activate it, which can be good, but in some times of the game, you might only have a hook or something else that's going to cause you to bust. And sometimes the hook can make you bust, which is not cool, but it's funny and everyone will laugh at you. But you take something else out and maybe, hey, you know what? I'm going to put a key there and hope that I get another chest. Oh, look at that. It just happened. And boom, now I'll take these 3 and take the other 3. So there's a lot of different combos that can happen. So essentially, this is how you play the game. At the end of the game, you, again, add up the top card for every suit. Whoever has the most wins, and the game ends essentially when this deck ends. Now let's talk about some of the special abilities. Now it comes with a little player aid that tells you all the traits and what they do, double-sided. Let me just show you some of my favorite ones. If you had selected this one at the beginning of the game, when other people bust, instead of those going to the discard pile, you take them all. That's why you're just waiting for people to bust. That's one of my favorite ones. The mermaid is worth 5 extra points if you have this guy. Ooh. This guy, when you use the map, instead of getting 3 cards from the discard pile, you get to look through the entire discard pile and pick the 1 card you want. Super powerful. This guy, oh, you automatically bank mermaids. So there's about 2 of these for each type of card that will lend yourself to wanting that suit to come up. And that's some of the special powers. There's also some special event cards you can mix into the game if you like. And I don't like them that much, but little things. So this would change the game. So you'd only play 1 of these at the beginning of the game. Subtract 5 points from your score for each empty suit. So any suit you don't get is worth 5. Makes you diversify a little bit. Or all cards in players' banks count for a score, not just the top card of the suit stack. That way you're trying to get as many cards as possible, probably bust more often. Keep your score below 60. So basically the closest person to 60 or below is going to win. So just different ways different goals to have for the games instead of just the normal. And it just mixes the game up just a little bit. And finally, they also add a normal 2 and 3 mermaid. Remember, the mermaids go through 4 through 9, but you can take the 8 and 9 out, add in the 2 or 3 to make it like a normal card, and then it has a special ability that when it comes up, when the mermaid comes up in there, they can take any card that's to the left of it, put it to the right, and activate it. So that's pretty powerful because you could activate any card that was pulled out before it. And that's pretty much how you play Dead Man's Draw. Wow, I've got to tell you, I was really impressed with Dead Man's Draw. I'm typically a fan of Press Your Luck games, and this one excelled hugely for me. It sounds simple. You play a card, and then you got to keep going. If you bust, right? It just sounds like a pretty normal Press Your Luck game, but it's really those 10 different suit actions that really makes this game shine. And not only just them individually, but with some of those cards, you're comboing them together. Like you're pulling up the sword and you're grabbing somebody's thing and you're getting a key, which will then combo with a chest. Then you're taking in and getting a bunch of bonus cards. Or you're taking somebody's sword, boom, and then you're playing a sword, and then you're taking somebody's cannon, and then killing somebody else. And there's all these different ways that some of these cards can combo with each other, which makes it, in my opinion, that's what really makes this game shine. It's a lot of fun. I like the special abilities; they're cool. Even though it says you just play with them all the time. When I teach new people, sometimes like my family that don't play a lot of games, I played it without them, and it still works just fine. But you can add them in for the advanced play. Overall, so geez, I don't know what to say. It's just we played this at BGG-Con. We played it with Suzanne from Board Game Breakfast. We played it with Rodney Smith from Watch It Played, and everybody I played this with really loves it. Now it plays 2, 3, and 4 players. The only kind of weird thing about it is that you play to the deck is empty, and the deck's the same size no matter how many players you play with. So you're gonna, on average, get about twice as many turns with a 2-player game than you will with a 4-player game. So what that does is when you're playing a 2-player game, you're a lot more open to push your luck a little bit more because you're gonna have more chances later in the game to try to get what you need. Where in a 4-player game, you have half as many of those turns. So if you've played a 2-player game and then you go play a 4-player game, you've got to be a little bit more conservative because you get a lot less turns. So if you screw up and you bust, wow, it's going to take a while for it to get back. Now, with some pressure luck games, when somebody's going and it's not your turn, like in a 4-player game and you're just waiting, sometimes it's boring. I didn't find that with this because first of all, the turns are really fast. Second of all, what they're doing and what they're flipping up really matters to you because they might have a card that you want, or they might be affecting you, taking your cards, and you're going to want to be paying attention to what they're grabbing as well. So downtime wasn't an issue with this either. The only other issues were a little bit of production things. Now, I got an advanced copy, and I've heard that they've sort of fixed some of the things that I found some issues with. I think one of the player aid is completely wrong for the sword action, but I think they have fixed that in the normal production copies. There were some event cards that I showed you in the overview, and there were no rules as to what to do with those. So little things like that. But again, this was an advanced copy, and they may have fixed that in the full production copies that do come out. But that's the only thing I can complain about really is that. The game's great. If you like pressure luck, if you like quick fillers, this is one of the best fillers that I've played all year. That's how highly I think of this game. And I played it with gamers, I played it with non-gamers, played it on an airplane. It's great. If you like filler games, pressure luck games, this is not one to skip because it's phenomenal. Dead Man's Draw.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.